For the record, that masks are not theater, masks are protective, and we
have immunity there, theater. If you already have immunity, you're wearing a mask to give comfort to others. You're not wearing a mask because of any sign.
I totally disagree with you. The point I'm saying...
We can do away with the dull preliminaries. And make love right away. We can spend the rest of our lives making love.
So what that tells us is that YouTube understands that there's some misinformation or propaganda or fake news that's being spread on its platform. But the issue right now is that the algorithm tends to push up a lot of commentary videos, and the legitimate news sources get lost. So whereas Facebook and Twitter have really been bombarded with criticism at this point, YouTube is only just starting to get the same kind of criticism, the same kind of...
Sir, what are you saying?
Because we're so used to it, and we're all vulnerable. You and I, we all have a level of convenience to our lives that, given the scenario where we have to comply with something, it's going to be, at some point, there's a threshold where we're going to be like, no, I'm not doing that. But there's going to be thresholds where we're like, okay, I'll do that as long as I can keep my life and logistics going, right? Because we don't want to be stagnant, you know? So that fascinates me too, the whole compliance relationship to convenience, and I see them directly connected in what's going on.
No more than the question you just asked him. You pointed out he puts pressure and disagrees with his own scientists.
But you're saying
Everybody
you can't, or
knows.
Senator Harris is saying you can't trust the scientists.
No, you can't trust the scientists.
He explains it plain as day to him, and he says these people won't realize until the boot is on their neck.
They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern.
Sneetches. Off again, on again, in again, out again. Through the machines they raced round and about again, changing their stars every minute or two. They kept paying money. They kept running through until neither the plane nor the star bellies knew whether this one was that one, or that one was this one, or which one was what one, or what one was who. Then, when every last cent of their money was spent, the fix-it-up chap packed up, and he went.
You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot change the basic perception and the logical behavior. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization.
The vaccine passport is a terrible idea. We are definitely not going to require anything from the state's perspective. That is totally off the table. If I have businesses that want to do that in Florida...
You're defying everything we know about immunity by telling people to wear masks who've been vaccinated. Instead, you should be saying there is no science to say we're going to have a problem from the large number of people who have been vaccinated. You want to get rid of vaccine hesitancy? Tell them they can quit wearing their mask after they get the vaccine. If you want people to get the vaccine, give them a reward instead of telling them that the nanny state's going to be there for 3 more years and you got to wear a mask forever. People don't want to hear it. There's no science behind it.
Well, let me just state there are variants in now circulating. The point that Senator Paul was making was that if you look at wild type only, there is some clear-cut credence to what he's saying. But we are living right now in a situation where we're having a dominance of 117, which was the original UK. We have a very troublesome variant in New York City, a 526. We've got 2 variants in California, a 427, 429, and we have a number of others. So we're not...
Vaccination is going to be, in the end, your route to liberty.
Sawyer is an old soul. She is our spunky and creative kiddo. Sawyer also happens to be a transgender girl. I remember the first time she was out in the community, wearing the clothing she wanted in her hair, and she kind of was herself. And that was the first day where I saw her. She has always been super gender creative, and hair has been a big part of her transition. Once she told us that she identified as a girl, she immediately wanted to grow her hair out.
The first chance she got, Mina Koo in Toronto booked her shot.
I'm worried about the variants, not the regular COVID-19.
For good reason. The Ontario COVID-19 Science Advisory Table warned today that the virus's variants of concern are taking over.
More than 50% of the cases in the province are caused by the new variants.
Fueling the third wave that is underway, says the board. The Ontario Hospital Association raised the alarm yesterday
Even
too.
as they've reopened in the UK. The death toll passed 100,000 this week, the highest in the EU. And while the infection rate is still rising, the vaccination rate is below average for Europe. If vaccines don't arrive, we will never be well, says this man. We talk and talk, but the vaccines don't arrive.
And he laughed as he drove his car up the beach.
They never will learn. No, you can't teach a Sneetch.
But McBean was quite wrong. I am happy to say that the Sneetches got really quite smart on that day. That day they decided that Sneetches are Sneetches and no kind of Sneetch.
Is the mighty power that can save the day. No one knows what lies behind their masquerades.
A delicious reason to do your part.
I've already got mine.
Krispy Kreme is now offering a free donut for anyone showing a vaccination card.
All right, Margaret, get everybody strapped in. Get everybody strapped in tight.
Ladies and gentlemen,
turn left hard, sir.
You're not coming in here unless we see whether you've either been vaccinated, you've had the disease and have got antibodies, or you've had a recent high-quality test. And so if people have got to understand vaccination is going to be, in the end, your route to liberty. So people have got to understand vaccination is going to be, in the end, your route to liberty. So you may think it's a constraint.
Recent declines appear to be stalling at over 70,000 cases.
Fire the left engine!
Put it out.
20 plus countries now in Europe have halted distribution due to side effects, deaths, blood clots, brain aneurysms, Bell's palsy.
All right, we're not going to make that. Our engines are burning up.
I see a field and a road ahead of us. We're going to set it down there.
Roger, 227.
Oh no, fire the right now!
Evan, we're coming back around. Margaret, I want you to hit full power, full throttle. You understand? Here we go.
Evans, speed brakes.
Speed brakes!
Flaps forward.
And when you get out, they're going to throw you away and they're going to ignore you. They made us take medication that was extremely dangerous. It caused all kinds of side effects. I live with, permanent. My quality of life has been severely diminished as a result of this. Now they want to give you this experimental vaccine. Guys, do whatever you want. You want to take it? Your career is that important to you? I got however much time I got left.
Margaret, full power.
And it's all permanently stained. I can't enjoy a lot of the things I used to enjoy. I can't do a lot of the things I used to do because of the problems I now have as a result of this. And many other guys will tell you the same thing. And now they're going to try and force this on everybody and threaten to take your career away and take your money away.
These vaccines will protect you and those you love from this dangerous and deadly disease.
flag, pitch for black.
They could say you're lying.
Get vaccinated when it's available to you.
That's the first step to ending the pandemic and moving our country forward. It's up to you.
They are moving among us. Apparently, they have the ability to inhabit human hosts and control their actions.
So they look like humans?
That's correct. We've got intel that would suggest some of them could be right here in this very camp.
So what, are you saying that some of us are others?
Please, there's a lot we still don't know. We're gonna have to move you all to a secure holding facility so they can run some screening protocols. Hoax, please!
And tell him your sign is a hoax. And the harms of conspiracy theories during a pandemic go far beyond confused hospital workers. As one study pointed out, given the transmissibility of COVID-19, these beliefs are dangerous even if only a fraction of Americans succumbing to them ignore best practices such as social distancing. So tonight, let's talk about conspiracy theories, particularly why they're so appealing.
Restrictions begin to ease, doctors do worry about that fourth wave and that we're simply letting our guard down just a bit too soon. That's, of course, as people make spring break and St. Paddy's Day plans. Healthcare professionals are worried about that potential spike in cases that we have seen in the past, especially following holidays. Right now, there's been no word on increasing staffing at any hospitals, but health experts are concerned about highly infectious variants like the strain first found in the UK. It's been rising in places like Florida and California, popular getaway spots this time of year. The CDC says the percentage of new cases from that COVID variant is now at 25% and climbing.
They made us take medication that was extremely dangerous. It caused all kinds of side effects.
Well, let me just state for the record that masks are not theater.
We get it out and into people's arms as quickly as possible. And there's another reason for doing this, which is that what we're learning about this disease, and I'm afraid this is going to be a big problem for us in the future, is that it is a bit of a cat and mouse game. And so you've got the risk, the longer you delay this, that you get another variation of the disease, which is more difficult for us to deal with. So you've got the one that the thing is, we've now got this new, much more transmissible form of the virus. So that means we've got to alter our plans for vaccination. And secondly, we've got the AstraZeneca vaccine coming on stream now, which is very simple to use. Unlike the Pfizer one, which we've been using up to now, this is like a flu jab. Very simple, cheap, easy to administer. And we should be getting much more of it on stream over the coming weeks. So you've got two questions. You've got the supply of the vaccine.
Consider the rest of your lives and if this is really important to you. Is this really worth it? You want to go, you got people going blind, blood clots, brain seizures, all this?
Let me just state for the record that masks are not theater. Masks are protective. And we
have immunity there.
And I'm somebody that is not just going to roll over and take it because I know what I'm talking about. I have the facts. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm a pro-science, pro-truther, pro-reality, anti-extremism, anti-communism, anti-slavery. That's what I am.
Rebel News has received over 100 emails regarding possible human rights violations against the chain. Here's a viral video coming from Burnaby, British Columbia, where a customer was put in a chokehold by loss prevention security for not wearing a mask.
Again, all these countries in Europe have stopped issuing it, but our government, oh, don't worry, it's safe. Is it safe? Is it safe like mefloquine was fucking safe?
They can't breathe! They can't breathe!
For who? For what? For you're going to do this for Justin Trudeau? For Harjit Sajjan? They're going to tell you you're all white supremacists, you're all racist. The same officers that are too busy, sexually harassing and assaulting their subordinates are going to tell you what you need to do to be a good soldier now. You know what made a difference? And this is something I was told when I was a young no hook, nobody private. The Canadian soldier doesn't just blindly follow orders and just do what he's told. We're not the Nazi Germans. Right? Right. You use your head. And you do what's morally correct.
Hey, I love this one. It's a guy, overweight guy with McDonald's in his hand, pills behind him, wearing a Pornhub shirt saying, the coronavirus sounds kind of dangerous. Now, that's a real person. There's actually people out there like that. What's even more insane is that there's people out there that are more upset at you for making this type of stuff than the guy you're portraying. If anyone needs a talking to, it's the guy in the comic. What do you think is causing people to dismiss all of the dangers in the world and pretend like we haven't been putting each other at risk our entire lives, whether it's getting in a car, eating poorly, having sex, spreading colds, flus? I mean, the list goes on. Why are those things never a topic of concern anymore?
I think it's because of compliance. It's almost like, when you're going to go to you're going to a party you don't even want to go to, and it's unfair that you have to go, so you have to bring someone else to the party, and it's like this mutual it's a mutual sort of masochism, sadomasochism. And so where these people walking around and they feel in fear, and so it's not fair if you're not in fear, so they have to guide you and say, no, if I'm going to be doing this, as ridiculous as I feel, and as submissive as I feel, you have to do it. And so they don't really care about comparatively what else is dangerous out there. I mean, they wouldn't drive. They wouldn't do a lot of things if they really thought it was about danger. It's not. It's about compliance. It's about fear, mind control. And it's gotten to a level of absurdity where you're just like, you can't even approach it rationally, like with logic, because it's so beyond it that there's no point in even doing that because people are so far gone now.
You can't even have the conversation with them, and you're right, man. They can't grasp the concept that you're not living in fear. They don't understand it. Like, that's the basis of their whole complex. Is like when you talk to them, they're like, "Why aren't you scared about this?" It's like, I don't know. Like, I thought we all understood what life was. I thought we understood that the moment you leave your house, you're putting yourself at risk. Like you just learned this now.
Should we wait till the normalization come and Soviet tanks landed in Los Angeles airport? Now, at that point, at the point of destabilization, also the process could be reversed. Again, easily than this. No CIA involvement at this point. You know what it takes here?
To fight the enemy of our nation, to face the people who would deny us even our right to breathe, is an honor we all aspire to. Our flag means nothing if not held aloft in the hands of the mighty, and it is you who now carries it. If the leg goes lame, it must be removed. If the kidney fails, it must be cut out. The body does not live for the individual organs. Sometimes, for the body to survive, parts of it must be lost. The good surgeon understands this. War is about action. And what we do in the coming days will prove once and for all that we will not be dictated to. Death is the only lesson that they will understand. Brothers and sisters, as of today, you are the hands that bludgeon, the teeth that bite and tear. You are the beating heart of this nation, the vital organ that keeps Helgen alive. With your blood, you nourish us all. My father once said that the greatest weapon is its people. I never truly understood what he meant until today. But seeing you stand here before me, ready to fulfill the promise of our forefathers, I finally understand. We owe our fathers a debt, but we cannot allow the ghosts of their memories to stop us from doing what must be done. They did what they had to in order to survive, and so must we.
Again, by God, we'll have our home. By blood or sweat, we'll get there yet. By God, we'll have our home. Oh, by God, we'll have our home again. By God, we'll have our home. By blood or sweat, we'll get there yet. By God, we'll have our home. When there's nothing nothing left but the fire in my chest and the air that fills my lungs. I'll hold my tears and trade my ears for a glimpse at kingdom come. On the other side of misery, there's a world we long to see. The strife we share will take us there to relief and sovereignty. Oh my